What are you gonna do? Sit or lay down? I don't know. Hello everyone, my name is Paige. I'm a TEFL teacher and I travel, and I currently live in the UK where I'm studying for a master's degree in library and information studies. And in this video I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I left Prague. I was teaching English in Prague, Czech Republic, and now I've come here to study, but I'm going to talk a little bit about why I left and just how it was living in Prague in general. So I'll start by saying I was first teaching in China, and I moved from China to Prague, Czech Republic. I moved from Nanjing, China to Prague, Czech Republic, and I, at the time, was looking to kind of move up career-wise, and it wasn't working out in China, so I decided that I would go to Europe because I wanted to travel in Europe. I always wanted to see Europe and travel around, so I was kind of in between Spain and Czech Republic, and I went with the Czech Republic. But I left China at the very end of January 2020, and we all know what happened. I think there were 10 COVID cases in my city when I left China, and everything was really small and it wasn't popping off quite yet. But when I got to Prague, I think I had like maybe 3 or 4 weeks before we were in the very first lockdown. So the timing wasn't great. And I spent the next couple years, obviously, in lockdown after lockdown, and the immigration services basically were closed. So the visa offices were closed, the applications were off, the residency stuff was closed. What else? In order to live in Prague, you need to rent an apartment before you apply. So I had rented an apartment, but then I couldn't get my visa, residency, and work permit to work legally. So I couldn't take the job that I'd gotten. And so I had a very expensive apartment and no job, and we were in lockdown, so I couldn't legally get a job. And so the money situation became quite terrible immediately. However, that is when I started teaching online, which I really enjoyed, and I really liked working for Zebra English, which was the company I was teaching online with throughout most of the lockdowns and things. It was still kind of tricky because with teaching online you sort of need to build up your students, and you need to build up your hours, and you need to build up your pay. So a lot of different online companies have different pay structures, so more classes you teach, the more money you make, usually, basically. And so it was a slow start, but I really liked online teaching. But then the next super fun thing happened, which was the double reduction policy in China, and my company was in China, so I ended up losing that job quite quick because of all of the shutdowns for the English schools and things that happened because of that policy change. So I was on the job hunt again! After losing the online job, it was kind of a string of just not the best situation jobs for me. I'd say in my life I'd call them bad jobs, but like there wasn't anything super wrong with it. It just wasn't a great fit for me, not the place. I worked at 2 different bilingual international schools in Prague, and I did for a little bit, just to try something different, do a customer support job, and that one was just full on not for me. It's too stressful. Customer support people, like, good job, because oh my god, that job was so stressful for me. Do you need to stand on top of me? Yes he does. The answer is yes. He wants a massage right now. Yes, you are the king. And also on that note, I would say, because I mentioned the financial situation earlier, I was living off my savings, which obviously is not really what anybody wants to be doing, but, you know, global pandemic, sometimes you got it. And it took me a long time to build up my salary with Zebra English online, and basically once I got to a good place, the job was gone. And so then I was looking for jobs in person in Prague, and pretty much everything there was a pay cut from what I was making online. So I got just a little smidge of a pay cut, but it was still a pay cut. And I think the schools I worked at were pretty top-notch, top-of-the-line schools. So just in general, the salaries were lower, and I was trying to, build myself up off of losing all my savings, basically. So since I didn't find a great job for me, I was already considering maybe trying something else. Like I said, I tried the customer support thing, it didn't work out, so I started looking at schools, and that's what I moved here to the UK for. And then another thing that affected the cost of living, and also, maybe people's lives in a horrible way, was the Russia and Ukraine war, conflict, bombing. That happened, and it affected the area, I guess. Like, my rent doubled. I think my utilities more than quadrupled. The prices of just normal everyday products went up. I think it was nice to be in Prague during that time, though, because you could see a lot of people were really concerned and really happy to help, and a lot of people were donating a lot and doing trips, and a lot of refugees came through to Prague to live there, so people were like opening their houses and inviting people in. It's nice to see that side of things as well, but also, like, obviously it's just like, what can you do at that point? Like, yeah, what can you do? I couldn't hardly afford my rent, or hardly afford my utilities, so it was a bit of a, like, end of the road for me. I could have carried on and kept teaching, because I think technically I was just about paycheck to paycheck, exactly, but at the end of the day, the reason why I left Prague was because I couldn't really afford it. I live on my own, apart from this, and I support myself, so it's gotta be kind of the right financial situation and opportunities in that. So at the end of the day, 'twas the money. And hopefully I can find some more and a better job somewhere someday. It was financial situation, professional situation. It's the reason why I ended up leaving Prague. But I came here to study and get a master's degree. And so that's been, I think, really good for me. And thank you, bud. Thank you for your kisses. Maybe other people figure out how to make it work, but for me, I just decided it was time to try something else. I'm very happy to come here and try studying. I think if anybody's interested in library and information, this video maybe doesn't make any sense because librarians don't get paid that much money either. But that's okay. That's what I'm interested in, and that's what I wanted to study, so that's what I did. And we will see what happens next. Maybe I'll stay in the UK, maybe I'll move somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe I'll become a librarian, maybe I'll teach again. Who knows, who knows, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Not me. Do you have a plan? He's mad at me. Oh, shake, shake. All right, I almost forgot. I was also gonna do some really quick pros and cons of living in Prague overall, and I made a little list, and actually the list of pros is bigger. I really did like living in Prague. It's a very cool city. I met a lot of cool people, and yeah, it's nice. It's just, wasn't the one, so I moved on. But here are some pros and cons to living in Prague. First, I put under pros is you get visa, Europe visa, and Prague and Czech Republic are kind of in the middle of Europe, so if you're interested in travel around, visiting places, it's a good base to be. And you can work as a freelancer, or you can work with the specific job that you have. So the job that you have can sponsor a visa for you, or you can work as a freelancer, which is what I did technically. But I did put under the cons the visa process, which I made a whole video about the Prague visa process. If you want to see that, you can for more details. But basically it's long and terrible and it's not fun. And it's expensive. For pros, I put that a lot of teachers who go there start off teaching English, but then there's more opportunities to get other jobs in other fields. Like I said before, I tried customer support with a travel company, so I was looking in, well, maybe I'd want to work like in the travel area, but it wasn't for me. So there's that. That's a pro. You can find different types of jobs. I put for a con, the teaching jobs I had, the salary wasn't as good as in Asia, basically. So the salary is not as good as other places in the world if you go to do TEFL. Pros, Prague has a lot of expats. It's a very international city, so you can meet people and go out and socialize. They're known for their beer and wine, which I like. And they have really nice parks, which was good for me and Clark. Very, very, very dog-friendly city. I think everywhere I've been, Prague is the most dog-friendly city ever. Getting a house was fine. Taking him out places is fine. Lots of people have dogs. Very dog-friendly. And there's a lot of nightlife in Prague, so if you're interested in that, Prague has that. And what else did I put for cons? Money. Money sign was the top one for me, obviously. And I would say one thing you hear a lot, it was my experience, but also kind of not my experience. I was there for over 3 years, so I got to know people better. But I think one thing you hear a lot is that the moving to Czech Republic, that people aren't completely welcoming or super friendly. But I think during the visa process, that was my experience, but otherwise I met like plenty of super friendly, nice Czech people. Like, I don't know. Maybe the visa process is just terrible for everyone, the people going through it and the workers. So those are the pros and cons. Just a little quick short list that I came up with to add to this video of just like what in general life is like in Prague. Prague is cool, man. I liked it. Okay, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. He's ready to go for a walk, so we're gonna go outside and go for a walk. Bye.